Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're working from home, aren't we, Cody?
That we are.
That's a nice brick wall you've got back there.
Got some exposed brick, just gotta show off beautiful downtown Indianapolis. What can I say?
That's all right. It's pretty sweet. I just got the white walls. I got the white wall look, man. All right, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the NBA 2K League and the 2K League mode. I think there's some questions that we've had on the channel, and we also asked you what you wanted to know about the 2K League or the 2K League mode that we play. So we're going to run through some of those. I'm pretty much going to ask Cody the questions. He can start, and I'll fill in the blanks. You ready, Cody?
Let's do it.
Right on. Hey, and anytime during this, if you guys have any questions, just post them down below. Also, I'm going to plug memberships as well, right? We do Q&As with members-only questions. So you guys, $1, and you get access to that and all the emotes in the live streams and premieres. And then the last thing is, if you guys want our guys to rate your build or potentially give you feedback on your gameplay, we've got two different submission type series, Rate My Build, and what's the other one called? Fan Film Friday. I got it.
I got it.
Fan Film Friday. We'll put links to those in the description as well. You guys can submit your build or your gameplay and look forward to those videos coming soon. But Cody, let's start this thing off with the hot topic. Bills Mafia says, dang. Now with the NBA suspending the season, what does that mean for you guys?
Yeah, we have a statement across all of our social media and on our website if you really want to dive in and see the official statement from Pacers Sports and Entertainment, not only about Pacers gaming, but the Fever, the Mad Ants, and the NBA team, of course, the Pacers as well. Like you said, we are postponed for the time being, but the good news is we can still film content like we are right now from home. We're getting the guys set up so they can film content from their apartments as well. So the show will go on from Pacers Gaming, don't you worry, here on YouTube. And we're also prepping for some preseason tournaments and maybe some other fun things the 2K League is about to put on, so stay tuned. But there is more content, more gameplay coming soon. Hopefully we can get into our studio in New York sometime soon as well to begin games.
Absolutely. And I told Cody, this is kind of like the off season again. Like, we've already done
Exactly.
This is how we built a lot of the channel, a lot of the videos that you guys have seen and subscribed because of. So I know from a director of content side, this video might be a little bit laggy now. I'm going to figure that out, and we're going to get all the guys set up with all the right gear, and we're going to be able to continue to push content out on this channel. All right, Rafael Rodriguez says, is the NBA 2K League console or PC?
So we are on PC. The way Take-Two Interactive, who develops the game of 2K, has done it. They create a special league build that I think we'll talk about in a few of these other questions. But we play on our Alienware PCs, but it's very similar to the 2K you play on your console, whether it's Xbox or PS4, with some unique tweaks. And it runs a lot smoother, to be honest with you, or more smoother,
more smoothliest,
smoothly. Hey, you almost said smoothie. I could take one of those right now too. That sounds yummy. But yeah, it's a lot smoother on PC just because of the hardware aspects, better GPUs, better CPUs. So we love playing on Alienware PCs.
Yeah, and it helps for the production side of things. So when you look at the broadcast and all the different camera angles, replays, everything that they do, as well as keeping the game stable and able to adjust things on the fly if they needed to restart something, adjust the score,
anything
like that, or assess technicals for trash talking, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this specific league mode we'll talk more about gives more type of opportunities like that too. On that same note, Tony Gunk says, how do I play this mode?
Well, Tony, it's tough. Unfortunately, right now, the league build mode, we'll call it a league mode. Again, we're trying to get away from build. I apologize, Spence.
No, it's okay.
But Right now it's only available to NBA 2K League teams. So they've customized it specifically for our league. There's special archetypes. The gameplay is tweaked. Everyone's the same overall level. So it's not like your normal My Career mode, or we're not using NBA players like you guys will be used to and play now. We have a very specific mode. And if you get on a practice team for a league team, some have those across the country, you could maybe play the mode. Or there could be events in the future. Who knows? There's a lot of things up in the air, and we're pressing always. We would love for you guys to be able to play what we play on the league mode as well.
Yeah, and I'll let you know that the last question in this video, we'll kind of speculate and have some fun on what that could even look like.
Cool.
Maybe integrated into the game or anything like that. But
sure.
Team Captain 00 says, "How the heck do I make it into the
Great question. We have a video. I think the thumbnail's me kind of looking like that.
Looks a lot like that, right?
Yes, I think it's "We Want You" is the thumbnail. And if you want more details on that, check out that video for sure. But the brief rundown is every year in the fall, so usually 2K is released, the next edition of 2K is released in September. We have a qualifier and an online combine sometime between October, November, December, where you can try out. And usually you have to win a certain amount of games in Rec or Pro-Am. I think it was 50 games at a 50% win percentage this year. Then you're entered into the combine, which is 5-on-5 pickup. You get to play the league mode in there as well, prior to some tweaks.
To say, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And then you're entered into the draft pool. And the draft took place, excuse me, in February, about a month ago now.
Another question by, I think I'll call him Skuxnet NZ. So Cody, this was in response to what do you guys want to know about the league mode? And he's saying that it's based on 2K19, which I'm not really sure why. So under the assumption that it's based on 2K19, which I give some people credit for, like when you see the off-season tournaments, you might talk about that a little bit, and why that is 2K19 versus 2K20. But what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, first, I think he is from New Zealand, so he might have watched the APAC tournament. So that's where he probably saw 2K19. So when the APAC tournament happened, it was in South Korea this year. The 2K20 league mode was still being developed at that time. So the only thing they could play was the 2K19 version of our game. So that's what you probably saw. Now, thankfully, the league mode is complete, and it's in our hands so we can practice for this upcoming season.
And when you look back on it from a scouting standpoint, every player that you're scouting that was in the league and you're basing old stats on, we're playing that 2K19 league mode. So when you look at the off-season tournaments and you're heading into the draft, it does kind of put everyone on that same level playing field, so that you can sort of, like, anybody that's competing in those off-season tournaments are sort of matched up similarly. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that kind of helps, right?
No, for sure. We get to watch players play on the same version of the game. Yeah. So that's definitely nice. Yep, you're spot on.
Nathan S., one of our members, thanks for being a member, Nathan, says, do you use your own build, or is it preloaded builds that you can tweak? And we might kind of respond to some of the comments we've been getting on the build videos that we've been releasing.
Yeah, if you've noticed, we've released, correct me if I'm wrong, Spencer, point guard and shooting guard archetypes so far.
Yes.
So make sure you check out those videos if you're interested in seeing what builds we can play. The league this year has created 8 builds that we can choose from at 8 positions. So there's 40 builds total.
5 positions.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
Yes.
8 builds at 5 positions. So
you got
40 total builds.
Yes. Thank you. So 8 builds per position, 5 positions in basketball. And yeah, we're locked down to those builds. And thankfully we were able to give some feedback on what kind of archetypes we'd like to see in the league. And Take-Two has sort of customized and developed those archetypes. And they're still making tweaks up until the first game, whenever that is. But yeah, so you'll see a lot of similar builds as what you see in retail, just customize a little bit. Badges are different. Those attribute levels are different as well.
So one of the things that I want to make sure people know is we can't adjust the badges, or the attributes, and the
Yep.
build is a 90 overall, correct on all
Correct.
those.
Yep.
So what you see is what you get. So when you're watching those videos, that's what every team has to choose from to create their starting five. Um, and then the other side of that, there are, which maybe you could talk about a little bit. This year, different than other years, animations
Yes.
are involved now, so there is some customization there.
Yeah, definitely. In the past 2 seasons, first 2 seasons of the league, all we could customize was the jump shot. So your base, your release, and the timing. This year, obviously, there's quick draw, so we can't change the timing, but we can choose our jump shot. And then now we have all of the other animations unlocked. So dribble packages, dunk animations, layups, you name it, we have access to those. So it's really going to make the gameplay a little bit different. And people will really have to try to find the meta of the dribble moves that work best in the league, not just in retail, because it is different. The game speed feels a little different with only 90 overalls, and you're playing with the best players in the world. So you really have to find the animations that work best for you specifically, that give your team an advantage against other teams. So we've really been playing with a lot of those animations already. And I'm excited to see, what teams come out with, what dribble packs they're using. It's definitely going to be interesting once we finally get on the court.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to add that people are kind of seeing, these builds might not. We haven't tested or checked. I'm assuming that they actually aren't all able to be created necessarily perfectly like they are in the league mode. In the retail version, there may be some differences in the attributes versus how many badges you get in a certain level. In retail, if you were to try to create that build, and I know some people are like, how does he have a 70 overall three,
Yeah.
and then, or how do they get that many finishing badges? So that's kind
Right.
of part of what we're dealing with. And when we ask you guys to sort of vote on what you think the best is, that's what our guys are having to do. So they got to go in
Yes.
here and say, okay, this isn't retail anymore. This is something different. And I have to have knowledge of the badges and how they interact with my jump shot and how the attributes are going to work in the league mode. And then if you want to kind of piggyback off of this real quick, because I know some of our guys were like, hey, a 73 maybe isn't that good in the league mode. What are
Yes.
like the sliders at, and how is this mode even harder than the difficulties in the retail version?
Yeah, we've been told by 2K that the sliders are even more difficult than Superstar, Hall of Fame, of course not pro or rookie, you name it, that scale, we're above that scale. So the 73 ball might feel like a 65 in the league mode. Some of the badges might not have as great of an effect on players as they do in the retail mode. So we don't know, down to the data points and the specific analytics behind the effectiveness of attributes, but we do know it is more difficult than the hardest of hard difficulties in the retail version of the game.
Last thing on builds. Another question from Stoic Romulan. Is there a reason 2K League limits the builds? More of a theory question.
Yeah, I think even prior to season one, there was discussion about how the league would be formatted, and the conclusion from most of the GMs across the league was we need to have standard archetypes so that it provides consistency and an even level playing field across all teams. So you can't come out and bring a 99 BP build with you're a legend and you're boosted with your 10 badges in every category and you're just super OP, and then other players don't have that. So the reason we have the consistent archetypes, the consistent overall level, is so that teamwork shines through, so that communication, decision making, all those things that really make up great teams in traditional sports transfers here. You're not you can't have a significant competitive advantage just because you bought more VC than somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's a standard playing field.
Yeah, and off of that a little bit, it's competition. There's money on the line. There's pride on the line. There's NBA organizations
Hmm.
on the line here, and it needs to be fair across the board to really make it about the skill of the player
Yes.
and the team. That's
Yep.
why. All right. Are there, right as wrong asks, are there any unique player models or customization options?
Ooh, that's a great question. Yes, yes. Last week, I received an Excel spreadsheet from the league that was essentially what you would have in the retail version. All of the options to customize your player. So your hair, do you want a headband? What number do you want to wear? Shooting sleeves, armbands, wrist straps, finger straps, you name it. Our guys can customize it. So as you can imagine, we're all sitting in our facility in the HQ and Bankers Life, and the guys get the spreadsheet and they're like, I need to look up what number my hair is. So they sprint over to the
Yeah.
console and they're scrolling through, filling out that spreadsheet. So it's fun to see how our players customize their guys. And like, for example, if you're a fan of Wolf, he's got the yellow mullet, the blonde mullet with the headband. So
Looks
they're
just like him in real
identified.
life, right? Just like him in real life.
Exactly, exactly. Spitting image of Wolf.
Yeah.
But it's fun because you guys can see Wolf in the game and know that's him because of his mullet, and I just think it's hilarious and it's awesome.
Another member of ours, he's got the blue icon, so he's been on for a couple months at least.
There
Uh,
it is.
I'm going to go with Denise Ozturk. How much
Okay.
of the offense is free flow, high pick and roll, pick and pop, similar to pace offense in 2K17? And how many specific plays a team runs on average compared to NBA basketball? So, how much is free flow? How much is plays compared to like real basketball? That's up your alley.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The first thing I would say is every team is different and every team is unique. I'll tell you about us specifically. We have right now, if I had to guess, somewhere between 20 and 25 plays entered into the playbook right now. And that's a week and a half of practice because of
Mm-hmm.
the situation we have going on. You could see that probably double by the end of the season. We'll put specific plays in depending on our matchup. If we're trying to exploit a matchup against the Wizards or the Warriors or whoever we're playing against, so there'll be specific customized plays week to week. But traditionally, and what I've seen so far in scrims, high pick and roll is definitely the base offense, and then you'll see pick and pop if the five is an outside center. We have both options in terms of those 8 archetypes at the 5 position. You could also see the 4 get in the pick and roll and run a pop sometimes too. So for our team specifically, it's probably 60% free flow, 40% plays at this point in time, I would say.
Yeah, could change.
Could definitely change.
And I've seen Swizzerk set a screen or two.
He has been. You've noticed that he's been
I
setting some
have.
screens.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
What do you think about the offense in this version of the game so far at this point compared to past years?
So season 1, we saw a lot of 5 out, which I didn't like. There was a shot slasher at the 3. If you guys didn't watch season 1, that was just super OP. 80 to 90% usage rate on offense. So that was insane. Did not like that. Season 2 was a lot of high pick and roll. The passing lanes were, I'm trying to remember. I want to say the passing lanes were pretty OP. So you couldn't run a lot of plays. We still did a little bit, but you couldn't throw it at people's faces. They were catching the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Defense was really good. The lockdowns were really good. So it was a lot of pick and roll last year. This year's a combination of the two. Passing lanes aren't as good, but you're not at 5 out either. So you're somewhere in between. It feels like a good balance right now.
Yeah, that's what I saw a lot of mashing season 1.
Yes.
And look, guys, I'm the content guy. I learned what mashing meant season 1. A lot
Real
of mashing. A lot of mashing. Real mashy. Mashed potatoes season 1. Season 2, a lot more threes and driving with point guards and stuff.
Yep.
Season 3, I feel like is a better mix of everything.
Definitely.
It is, in my opinion, it's been a little bit more fun to watch because I see more players getting involved.
Right.
So just from a casual viewer standpoint, I like it
Yeah.
personally. Okay, we got two more here from Ainley Deary. I'm sorry, guys, I'm terrible with names. How does player retention work? So let's step outside the game and talk about our guys a little bit.
Definitely. I'll tell you how it's worked in the past so far. I'll tell you this season specifically. Because the league is growing every year. Season 1 we had 17 teams. Season 2 we had 21. Now we're up to 23 teams. So there has to be an expansion draft to allow those new expansion teams to get talent from the current teams in the league. So this past season we were able to retain 3 out of our 6 players prior to the expansion draft. So those expansion teams had a 2-round draft, and they were able to select anyone across the league who was not retained. So those 3 players on each team were saved. You couldn't take them. And then after the expansion draft, you were able to retain up to an additional 1 player. So you could have 4 players on your team. If you retained an additional, you would have a draft pick stolen from you. And I want to say it was a 2nd round pick, I believe, if you retained an additional player. And then trades were open. So you saw some teams keep 3, keep 2, keep 4, and then trade players. And then we had a 4-round draft about a month ago now to fill out those rosters as well.
Last question. Are you ready?
Fire away. Come on.
All right, and everybody listening, this is the one we can have some fun with. Want you guys to comment on this down below with all of your ideas as well. This goes back to what I was talking about before, maybe 2K, league mode in the game type of things. B-Worm asks, I wish 2K would give us a rec center. And let me preface this. This is based on some of the build videos, the league mode build videos that we've been showing. So you can see in there sort of the build selection screen. If you guys aren't familiar, you can go watch one of those videos. But he's saying, I wish 2K would give us like a rec center with this option, and your team would have to use one of each position. I need this so bad. So that's almost like saying, wish there was a mode where it had set builds like this. Maybe I didn't have to create builds, but I could go into this mode, maybe let's just say match make, and select a build that I'm going to play, and then be put into a game at that position. So let's, for the sake of having fun here, talk about what do you think 2K League mode would look like within 2K the game itself?
All right, I love it. I love it. I love all the ideas. I can't wait to see what people come up with in the comments too. And the good thing, Spencer, is we can give that feedback. So if you guys have real feedback, let us know, and we will communicate that as much as we possibly can. So with that said, I've talked a lot to Wolf about this specifically, and Nate a little bit too. We would love it if there was an option for matchmaking where you could go in solo or you could go in as a team. And that's 2 different ranking systems. So let's first talk about solo.
Is that let me clarify. Sorry.
Sure.
Is that solo? That's 1, and then the other one's 5?
Yes.
And nothing in between.
Probably not as of now.
Yeah.
I think you want to do one or the other for now.
Yeah.
So in the solo, you would be put into a queue just like Rec Center, get matched up with 5 people, 1 at each position, and choose out of those 8 archetypes that we've been talking about in your position. You get thrown into the game. The 2K looks at your analytics. They look at your win percentage. They determine how well you're playing, and you rank up or down depending on your performance in the game.
You already have a grade system, right? I mean, that's built into the game.
Yes. And we have an even more detailed system to determine the pool for the 2K League. So if that could be implemented, that would be amazing. And then if you guys have ever played Halo 2 or Halo 3, where it was the 1 through 50 ranking system, or the League of Legends, where you start in Iron, you go Bronze, all the way up to Challenger. Imagine that. where you queue in and you get matched against people in your same rank. So that's solo, and you can work your way up the leaderboards. And once you're at the top, you're probably playing against all the 2K League players, that'd be so fun, and it would really help us with scouting too. And then the 5, it's the same thing.
I'm gonna hop in real quick.
Go ahead.
Getting that ladder system at that highest level would really retain, it would help the integrity of the games as well.
Yes,
right? So people can't just go in and troll, if you will. Because they'd have to try really hard to get up to that elite level to then troll, right? You can't just hop in randomly. You're just going to be put in with, let's say, rookies in the beginning.
Yes. Exactly. No, that's a great point, and the same goes for teams too. So I think it's the same thing. You throw in your team. Nate's been on Island Gang forever. Wolf's on No Smoke. You get your 5. You match up against people at your same rank. And we know you can rank up the court like you've seen in the past, but now this would be real matchmaking. So those leaderboards matter. You get to play against the best if you work your way up the ladder, like Spencer said. And then maybe they have now we're getting real in depth, Spencer. I'm getting excited. But what if you had mini tournaments at different levels, so you could be like the champion of the Iron Division for that month or that fall if they do summer, spring, fall, winter tournaments, and then at the top, that's when maybe the winner of the top division automatically gets entered into the draft pool for the 2K League. Something like that I think would be lights out amazing.
Absolutely. And then we talked about hey, why would I know I've seen some people sort of speculate on some things and say well, 2K wouldn't want to do that because they're not going to make any money off of it or anything like that. And we just had our own fun kind of brainstorming, what if you had to maybe in your sort of my career mode or the park or whatever, you had to create, let's say you wanted to play point guard in the 2K League mode. Maybe you have to create a build and get it ranked up to a certain level, right, to a 90 overall or something, for you to have access to be, let's say, a point guard in that mode. That would allow for all the same things and give people something to really strive for to get access to. And I think that would sort of be like a win-win scenario.
Definitely. And let's be honest, 2K makes money off of VC purchases and ranking up your characters. So that would make sense. Same thing in League of Legends. You have to get to a level 30 in order to even play ranked. So exactly like you said, Spencer, you have to rank your guy up. 2K is making money. They are a business through VC and all of that. But once you get into the mode, you can just go from there. Yeah.
Well, you guys have some fun with that in the comments down below. What kinds of ideas like that do you think, did any of ours sound good? Could you add on to those? Do you have your own idea for what the 2K League mode would look like? Let's have some fun in the comments section a little bit, Cody.
Definitely. Can't wait to see it.
All right, guys, I think that's it. Cody, I think we talked long enough that how do you feel about making this a premiere?
Ooh, I'm missing the premieres. It's been a little while. Let's do it. That'd be fun. This is
a 20, 25-minute maybe premiere. We'll do it a little bit later today. Cody's got another call to hop onto, so I'll make sure to do it after that so he can be in the chat. Both of us spam the emotes. PG fam, everything, all of our faces, right? And if you're not a member already, join now so that we can get all of our guys as emotes as well. We need two more levels to get some more emotes in there. Perfect. All right, Cody, I think that's it. From all of us here at Pacers Gaming and from wherever we all are, everyone stay safe. We're going to bring you content over the next couple weeks. And thanks for watching.
See you guys. Have a great day.
Start recording. I don't know.
What if I did that? What, this? Am I pointing up here?
Maybe it's just like Here, let's just smile, bro. Let's just do like a smile at the camera, right?
Perfect.
Okay.